Greetings and welcome to Yarnspirations. I'm Mary Beth Temple from Hooked for Life, and in this video we're going to take a closer look at the On Crest of Wave crochet shawl. Now, to make this statement shawl, you're going to need Caron Simply Soft Speckle. You're going to need 2 balls of the contrast A color, 3 balls of contrast B, and 2 balls of contrast C. Now, for the purposes of this video, I used a solid color, but only so you could more easily see my stitching. You're going to need a size US I 9 or 5.5 millimeter crochet hook, or size needed to obtain gauge, and you're also going to need a locking stitch marker. Now click on the link below to download the free pattern. While you're down there, please subscribe to the channel for fresh content weekly on knitting, crocheting, and other yarny stuff. Check out the social media platform of your choice by clicking on those links. And if you'd like us to see what you're up to, whether it's this beautiful shawl or something else, use hashtag Yarnspirations. Now let's get started with the foundation row. Alright, now you may have noticed that the shawl in the photograph was made in Caron Simply Soft Speckle. I am going to use a solid color for the purposes of this video just because it's so much easier to see on camera than the speckled. I'm also not planning on addressing the color changes because this is an intermediate level pattern and I know you know how to do that. So just be aware that the stripe pattern is written out on the first page of the pattern. And it's 2 rows A, 2 rows B, 2 rows C, 2 rows B. And you're going to repeat those 8 rows for the stripe pattern. But again, I'm not going to use that yarn or the color changes in the video because I know that what you want to see is the stitching. So I have chained 20. I'm going to half double crochet in 3rd chain from hook. Now, I say this on these videos all the time that I always work in the back or bump of the chain, and this is a perfect use of that technique because since we're going to work all the way around the chain, if we do our first pass in the back or bump, we'll have a beautiful edging to work the other half. So 3rd chain from hook, so that's 1, 2, 3. So that's 1. Now we're going to half double crochet in each chain across to the last chain. So here we are at the last chain. We're going to put 5 half double crochets in that last chain. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it says do not turn, working in remaining loops of the foundation chain, half double crochet in each of the next 17 chain for a total of 39. So we're going up the other side. Now, because I worked in the back bump, look at that nice edging sitting there waiting for me. Now, I have already put 5 in that last chain, so the next one I'm going to work in is that one. So we're going to work in each of the next 17. See how nice and even that is because I have those stitches waiting for me. 16, 17, and now there is a note that the chain 2 does not count as a stitch, so we're going to leave this guy alone. It does not count. So there's my 17 on the other side, and then there's a note that says to tell me to put my stitch marker on the 20th half double crochet to mark the center. So once again, that chain 2 does not count. So we're going to start counting from the first stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I'm going to mark that 20th stitch That is my center. Also, as a gentle reminder, you will have 39 total half double crochet at the end of that foundation row. So now we're going to turn the work, and this is the first row, and it is a right side row. So we're going to chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to put 6 double treble in the first half double crochet, and we mean the very first one because we're making a big old increase here. And for the double treble, we're going to yarn over 3 times, 2, 3, insert the hook in the stitch, yarn over and draw up a loop. That's going to give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 loops on our hook, yarn over and draw through 2, 2, 3, 4 times. So that was 1. We need to do 5 more in the same stitch. And while we're working on this first row, I do want to point out, as is often the case here at Yarnspirations, we have things charted out for you because many of us prefer the charts to the text instructions, although sometimes it's the other way around and sometimes use a little bit of both. I want to point out that in the drawing, the foundation row stitches are extended, and that is only so that you can see what's happening right here. You want to be able to see the stitches in the right place. The piece itself is not extended, just the chart is. So once again, we've put our 6 double trebles in the first half double crochet. Moving along, it's double treble in the next stitch, skip the next stitch 8 times. So double treble in the next stitch, skip 1, double treble in the next stitch, skip 1, etc. And then 5 double treble in the next half double crochet. So let's catch up with that. Double treble in the next half double crochet, skip 1, double treble in the next half double crochet, skip 1 for a total of 8 times. So that was my 8th repeat, and skip the next one. Then it's double treble in next stitch, five double treble in next half double crochet, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there we go, and then 1 double treble, chain 2, 1 double treble in next half double crochet, and place marker on the chain 2 space for center. So I'm going to grab this marker out now. So 1 double treble, chain 2, 1 double treble, all in the same stitch, and then I want to remember to bring that marker up and mark the chain 2 space. We're going to bring that marker up every row so that we are certain where the center is. Moving on, 5 double treble in next half double crochet. Now we're going to repeat the instructions between the asterisks. So that's double treble in next stitch, skip next stitch 8 times. 1, 2, 'Alright, that was my 8th repeat. I'm going to double treble in next half double crochet. And that is where the instructions in the asterisks end. And now it says 7 double treble in last half double crochet, which remember is this one because the chains do not count. So I'm going to put 7 in here, and then I'm going to turn the work. So here we are at the end of the first row, and we have our setup complete. We have our center marked, and I'm going to go ahead and do the second row on camera, at which point I think you got all the information you need. But let's take a look at the second row. So we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and we have turned to the work. 3 half double crochet in first stitch. So that's the very first stitch. 1, 2, 3. 1 half double crochet front post around each stitch to center chain 2 space. So for that half double crochet front post, we're going to yarn over, and instead of going into the stitch, we're going to do a post stitch. We're going to go from right to left under the throat of that double treble below, yarn over and draw up a loop, yarn over, draw through all 3. Let's take a look at that again. Yarn over, around the throat of the next stitch, going in there from right to left, yarn over, draw up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. We're going to do that all the way to the center. This is the last stitch before the chain 2 space. And then in that chain 2 space, we're going to work 2 half double crochet, chain 2, 2 half double crochet. So I'm going to take that marker out to get it out of my way. Here's 1, 2, half double crochet, chain 2, 2 half double crochet, 1, 2, and I'm going to remember to put that marker back in that chain 2 space to remind me where my center is. Now we're going to half double crochet front post around each stitch to the last stitch and put 3 half double crochet in the last stitch. Now, even though the chain 2 on the half double crochet rows does not count as a stitch, this chain 5 does. So that's where my last 3 half double crochets are going to go. 1, 2, 3. Now that is the end of the second row. So since that is the end of the second row, this would be the time when you would change color. Once again, I'm not going to do that because for the purposes of this video, I just want to use this solid color so you can see what's going on. So you're going to change to the next color in your stripe pattern and turn the work. For the third row, we're going to chain 5, counts as a double treble, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 double treble in the first stitch. Reminder, it's the very first stitch. Double treble in each of next 3, etc., etc., etc. So at this point, once again, you can follow along with the text instructions, or you can follow along with the stitch diagram, or a combination of the two. But now going back to the text pattern, I just want to go over repeats. So you're going to work up through and including the 24th row. Then you're going to repeat the 15th to the 22nd rows once more, noting that the repeat in the brackets is going to change because you're increasing with every subsequent row. So there's going to be more information in that bracket. Then you're going to repeat the 23rd and 24th rows one more time, noting that repeat in the bracket. Then we have a next row and a fasten off, and you're all done. That's all there is to it. There's no fancy edging or anything like that. So I hope you had a wonderful time here with me, Mary Beth Temple from Hooked for Life, working on the On Crest of Wave crochet shawl. Please be sure to click on the social media links below to follow us on the various social media platforms, like this video, and subscribe to the channel for fresh content weekly on knitting, crocheting, and other yarny stuff. And if you'd like us to see what you're working on, go to one of those social media channels, the one that you love best, and use hashtag Yarnspirations so we can see what you're up to. Thanks so much for joining me. Bye-bye.